Welcome to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. We are a welcoming community because, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā, Vidyavinaya sambhane brahmaniga vihasani shuni chaiva shrapakecha pandita samadarshina. A learned person is someone who knows that behind every physical body there is a spiritual soul, the consciousness within the body. And Krishna also says real knowledge means kshetrajñam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetrajnayo jnanam yatach jnanam matam mama. And that is that a person who has knowledge knows that he or she is in a field, and that's how Krishna refers to the body as a field, and that we as souls actually have nothing to do with the body. We're the knowers of the field, or knowers of the body. What's more, an enlightened person, Krishna describes as being the witness of all the activities that are taking place within the body. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tatvavit pashyan shinvan spashan jigran ashnan gachan sapanshasan pralapan vishnan grinan unmishan nimishan nabi indriyan indriyateshu vartanta iti dharya. That means that everything that we do, or that when a self-realized person who's in a body notices that the body's functioning in various ways, like you see my hands moving?
Yes.
It's robotic. Thank you. I guess blue and red go together. Everything about our bodies is robotic. There is a subtlety to the bodies also, which is like the software, which is the mind and the intelligence and the ego. Ego is a facilitation, makes a connection between us and the tactile sense of the material world, the experience of the material world. But the Vedas assure us, asango hyayam purushaha. Little soul, if anybody's a little soul, raise your hand. Otherwise you're an AI robot, and we're going to put you to work in the storehouse because you won't mind. And little souls, he said, you have nothing to do really with this material world, so relax. Don't get too upset. And Krishna also mentions in the Bhagavad-gītā that the ultimate purpose of life is to remember our relationship with our source, Krishna. And there's a description in general of our source in the Sri Īśopaniṣad, which gives a very beautiful verse. Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. And that is, personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. Big news, our source is a person who's perfect and complete. And everything emanates from that supreme person, as also confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadyasa Yataha. Everything comes from a common source. Who would have guessed that common source is a person? Krishna. And all units that emanate from that original source are complete in themselves. And no matter how many complete units emanate from the complete whole, the complete whole remains the complete balance. There's no change. And then the Sri Īśopaniṣad gives us direction about how to live a peaceful life. Would you like to know that? Yes. Okay. It says, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita magradha kasaswadanam. And that is, everything animate or inanimate that's within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. Therefore, one should not accept those things. One should only accept those things necessary for oneself, which are set aside as one's quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. And then the Sri Īśopaniṣad says, if you live like that, Kurvan evehe karmani jijivishekshatam samaha evan tvai nanyate tostina karma lipitenare. You won't be troubled by reactions to living in this world. You can live peacefully. The idea that we're proprietors over all the things of this world is illusory anyway. So giving up that sense of proprietorship is ultimately not a really big deal because it's illusory. So there's no harm in giving up an illusion. And when we do that, where are we left? We're left with an opportunity to use everything in Krishna's service. And that brings us to the process of yoga that we teach here, which is that everything within the universe, being controlled and owned by the Lord, is to be used in His service. And so in Bhakti Yoga, we employ whatever we have, whatever we're in possession of, we can use. If you possess a body, you can use it in Krishna's service. If you have a job, you can use that. You don't have to change anything except the way that you're using whatever you have. For instance, in the Gita, Krishna says, Yat koroshi, yat ashnashi, yat juhoshi, dadasi yat tapasyasi konteya, tat kurushva manarpitam. That is that all that you do you all do anything? Like what? What do you do? Book distribution. You definitely do that. You eat, you do book distribution. Anything else you do? You work. Most people have a job. Drive. Sleep. Talk. Cook. Think of a Bob Dylan song. You'll get all the items if you can do that. So everyone's doing something. Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, give away, do as an offering to me. So there's a way in which one can start on the supreme path of spiritual connection to our original whole, Krishna, by considering that everything belongs to Him. Whatever has been set aside as my quota, and that means you don't have to over-endeavor to get too many things. Do just what you need. You plant a few seeds, grow a few things, invent some job that you can work at, and do that until people get on your nerves, and then you can go somewhere else. And just do what you have to do to survive. As Bhagavatam corroborates, kamasya nendriya priti labo jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jignasya nartoyash cheha karma bhi. And that is a life's plan, means live with vitality. That means get enough sleep, not too much, not too little. Eat properly. A little bitter melon do you good. It's very healthy food. Do you like Karela? Yes. Avocado? Yes. Artichoke? Yes. Blueberries is number 6. Mung beans. Mung beans? What else? What's in my top 5? I forgot. Huh? No, paneer. That's number 7. And in any case, all those foods, you can eat those and eat organic, grow your own, offer to Krishna first. And if you do that, eat nicely, just healthy, and then sleep a little bit, maybe 7 hours. Is that enough? Yeah, go to bed on time, get up. And then if you recreate, make sure you take a little time to yourself, and then do your work in a balanced way, and then offer whatever else you have, or everything that you have, while you're living your healthy life to Krishna. Then you'll feel an intimate connection with Krishna that's already there, but it's just I've diverted my attention and I give my emotional love elsewhere. What's more, when we love Krishna, then we love everyone, because we see everyone as part of Krishna. We see that everything comes from Krishna. And if one also takes up a few of the primary practices of Bhakti Yoga, like chanting, chanting's nice, because when you love somebody, then you might want to think about them. You will want to think about them. And then one of the ways that we do think about people is mentioning their name, right? Have you ever been so enamored of somebody that when you brought up their name, then your chin trembled? I say their name and then, no other name sounded so sweet. But Krishna has a name. He is our ultimate best friend and well-wisher and lover. And if we practice saying Krishna's name in the mode of chanting, or also repeating in japa, when you repeat it softly to yourself over and over again, it ignites the fire of love in one's heart towards Krishna. And then you feel blissful. And Krishna gives the main instruction in the Bhagavad-gītā, which is manmana bhava mad bhakto. Just think of me and become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me. And what else is there? Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji. Whatever you worship, when you do worship, don't waste your time worshiping cricket stars and musicians and things like that. I mean, they're all right, but you don't have to put your heart into it and put their picture on your wall and things like that. You don't have to wear the jersey. Just offer that to Krishna. And if you do those simple things in bhakti, consider everything belongs to Krishna. Whatever you do, eat, offer, give away, worship, do it for Krishna. Keep your same style. No necessity to change your style. Just change your mood and your intention and where you're offering everything. And then you'll be engaged in bona fide spiritual practice. There are natural ways in which you become enlightened and work in the world in an enlightened way. You don't become so upset with the various changes that go on in the world because you realize that it's here today, gone tomorrow. Krishna says in the Gita, you can practice that. Matra sparshas kunteya shitoshna sukadukasa. In other words, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, sometimes you don't get what you want, right? But if you're just steady in your practice of offering everything to Krishna, even you're in a rocky material world, then I should say rocking if I do this, because it doesn't match rocky. But in any case, you know what I'm talking about. If you continue steadily with your philosophy of Krishna consciousness, offering it to Krishna, remembering Krishna, and do your chanting, then you'll make great progress. And if you don't make a complete success of your life, it's not recommended that you hold back. You should try to make a success of your life in this lifetime. But if you don't, then Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gītā, no loss, because you'll take it up next life. Of course, there's a little detour. You got to go to the heavenly planets for a while and get a membership there. Then you come back down, get an opportunity to take to devotional service again. Again, it's not recommended, but there's no loss because you'll take it up where you left off. So, Srila Prabhupada is the founder and Acharya. He represents the disciplic succession coming down from Krishna. He offers the same teachings that Krishna gave at the beginning of creation, but then also gives practical steps so that we can organize our lives how to follow the principles of Bhagavad-gītā. And then this community here, is kind of Silicon Valley, is especially organized for people who like to take up a spiritual practice. And of course, in any society, there's always some interaction with people. You get to be friends with those who are also practicing. You can eat together. There's lots of food here. And music, beautiful music, fun. And then you'll have a spiritual identity, a place to go, people you know that are spiritual. So I recommend it. And does anybody have any questions? Can't argue with any of that, right? Then let's do this. Let's have a little chanting session and see what that feels like. So, please move forward. We are vegetarian. What I recommend is if there are more seats, put them, instead of moving up like that, you'll break the whole pattern. If somebody can put more seats right in front and then move up. I do it, but then nobody will be speaking here. This requires knowledge of trigonometry. You know, I read a book a long time ago, didn't read it actually, I saw it on the shelf. It said, 12 houseplants even you can't kill. And it reminded me of this simple process of chanting Hare Krishna. You can't go wrong, because sometimes people say, well, you know, it's Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Well, maybe, but then you'll end up doing the same thing. And when Valmiki Muni was so depressed, you ever been so bummed out you couldn't do anything to help yourself? That's where Valmiki Muni was at, and Narada Muni came along and said, just chant Hare Krishna, say Hare Rama. He said, I can't even do that. So you're so depressed, you just chant the name of death, say Mara. So I said, keep doing it. Mara, 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 Rama, Rama, Rama. He ended up chanting Rama. My point is, the Hare Krishna process is so simple, direct connection to Krishna, that you can't mess it up. Just like the 12 houseplants you can't kill. If you just try this, no matter where you're starting from, even if you're so depressed you feel like everyone's against you, the world's been retrograde since you were born, get money, you lose it, can't make friends with anybody, just chant Hare Krishna, and everything will be all right. And so our founder came to America and he just taught this simple process. And there's 2 parts. Is that too many? No? 2 is not too many? You sure? I don't want to complicate this. Well, the first one is, I already said, and it is? And the second one is, teach others how to chant Hare Krishna. Because when you give, you grow. And you have to share joy. When you're happy, you don't sit in your room or closet alone. You want to give it to as many people as possible. So these are the 2 parts to the Hare Krishna movement. Chant Hare Krishna, and then give it to as many other people as you possibly can. So if you came today for the first time, or haven't been here for a while, or you're a regular, you came on a good day. It's like winning the lottery of the year. Because today we have a very special observance. We're going to be making an offering of all the ways in which we've given Hare Krishna to people all over Silicon Valley, what to speak of Utah, Wyoming, any other states we've covered? Oregon. Huh? Colorado. She's over there tabulating too. You see why she's got the computer over there? That's Malini Devi Dasi. She's counting up the scores. So one of the ways that we give Hare Krishna to others is through literature, because actually, after all, language, written word, is just speech abstracted. It's written down in symbols so you can reconstitute it at any time. And the power of books is that humans like them. If you're human and you like a book, say, Haribo. See, humans like books, because when you see a book, even if you don't read it, you feel there's some potential in it. And that's why if you go back and review all your Zoom tapes from the pandemic, and you'll notice everybody's backdrop was a shelf of books. Except for 1 or 2 people in the universe. Everybody had a shelf behind them with books on it, because humans like books. And when you have Hare Krishna in a book, then when you open the book, Hare Krishna comes out. And you can do it in your room, you can sit down and open it, and then the sound, which is abstracted in the speech, it comes out in your mind and then goes into your heart, and you become enlightened. And when you go door to door and you give those same books to people, they open the books, and what was before anxiety-ridden environment, why? Because they were watching you name it, what were they watching that was putting them in anxiety? CNN, foosball, what else? Movies, reality TV, ouch. All these things, they keep you at arm's length from happiness. You think you're going to get it, but it's like, no, you can't come in here. But when they open a Bhagavad-gītā they immediately feel happy. And when they open a Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, then all the secrets of the universe are available to them. So one of the ways that we've gone about our business here at Silicon Valley, we do run kind of a spiritual business here. You may notice the parking lot, it's piling up with tents out there and sheds. Have you seen that? There's books in there. And if you go to the center of the temple, biggest room in this whole place is full of books. There's a Trojan horse. We brought it to the Silicon Valley just to unleash the Hare Krishna mantra to everybody everywhere. In Cupertino, Palo Alto. Give a shout out for your hometown. Fremont, San Jose. Anybody from Mountain House? All those in Mountain House. Dublin, yes. Thank you for coming all the way down. We respect you for driving all this distance. Livermore, San Ramon. I guarantee you, we've been to all those places in the last month, every one of them. And we've knocked on as many doors as we could. Malini's confirming. She knows. She's looking at the statistics right now. Today officially starts our marathon that goes from now until September 7th and 8th, because we're doing it all over the world, and some days it ends on the 7th, some days it ends on the 8th. It's called Bhadra Purnima, 17th, 18th. And the Purnima means the full moon, and the month is Bhadra in September. And anybody starting from today onward who wants to participate in giving Hare Krishna to other people, especially through the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the nuclear option. Once you bring the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam into your house or you place it in somebody else's house, then everything changes. All the vibration inside the house changes and the people start to become happy. And there's an extra benefit leading up to Bhadra Purnima, and that is if you give a gift of a Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to somebody else for Bhadra, and we have a worldwide scheme so that all these sets are offered and given on the day of Bhadra Purnima, whether you distribute it early or even a day or two late. We make special offerings, for instance, in Mayapur. Do you know where Mayapur is? Anybody not know? It's a holy place in India. And we take the names of everybody who participates and we write them in a book. And we had a silver box made. And the book with the tens and thousands of names goes in that little silver box. I personally brought it and put it on the altar there at Lord Nrsingadev's feet in Mayapur, and that's where it rests. So it's punctuated by this offering. And we're starting today. It just happened to land on this day that we're starting because we're celebrating this particular time when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the patron saint of the Hare Krishna movement, who revived it hundreds of years ago, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had brought the Hare Krishna movement 500 years ago, it gradually tapered off and went underground. And people were doing a lot of malpractice until Bhaktivinoda Thakur brought it back. And he opened the Hare Krishna movement again and the marketplace through which we could give it to everybody around the world. And this weekend, we've been celebrating nonstop, going to homes, downtowns, everywhere, chanting. Friday night, we were in Palo Alto. We had a public festival there. And then last night, at Bali Mardam's house, which is like the Great Gatsby, we had a huge Jagannath party. And on it goes, celebrating the day in which Bhaktivinoda Thakur left the world. So today, this is the day that starts the entire campaign that leads up to the 17th, 18th, and you just happen to be here on this day. So what we're going to do today is offer the results of our most recent excursion into the public all over America and the world. Actually, we participated in Europe. My wife and I just got back from there 5 days. And we were distributing over there too. And we're going to offer the results of that to Srila Prabhupada. And then also, a lot of people called in online. They're going to be joining. And we've got quite a few people called us this morning, and they asked for an opportunity to publicly sponsor a set of Bhagavatams or more. Some people like to sponsor more than one set. They're only, how much are they? $250 for a set of Bhagavatams. And so people called in. They said they'd like to do it live and in person. So we're going to accommodate them today. They're coming. Many people are already here. I can see some of the faces, people who called in. And then after that, we're going to have the Artik. So starting now, we have announcements by Malini Devi, who is the co-leader of this incredible initiative to distribute this year. How many is our goal? 3,500 sets of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatams we're going to distribute this year. So it's just starting today.